G'day friends, and welcome to another episode of SadriCodes. Today we're going to be looking at the Jcink member control panel, the profile entry fields, which by default is kind of ugly, and you can see it here. This is one of my own skins. It's called All Torn Down, so it's fairly custom except for this part, and you can see it's just it's not very nice. I don't like, even though these can be extended, I don't like the tiny boxes all the way over there and the space here, and it's just disorganized and ugly. So what we're going to be doing is, over the course of probably 2 tutorials, we're going to be looking at how to reorganize that, how to add headings into it, and how to just make it look nicer. Because it uses the custom profile field numbers, it's not something that can be built into a skin that just applies to anyone. It does have to be customized for your skin and your profile fields, which makes it a little bit difficult. But what we want to end up with is something a little like this. And over here I've got an application guide with some nice shiny colors. I'll just zoom that in for you a little bit. We've got headings. I've got 2 columns because I love using the full width of my screen. It just makes me happy. I've got it in flex so that the bottom ones go all the way along the bottom. And just these colors signify different types of requirements. And look, the boxes go all the way along the bottom as well. Just a bit neater, a bit nicer, and a bit easier to follow. And that is what we will end up doing. But in this particular part of the tutorial, what we'll be doing is just organizing the profile fields ready for that. So we won't get into the layout of it yet, we'll just get the profile fields organized. The first thing that we want to do is, because I like to make lists, is we want a list of all of our profile fields and the headers that we want to use for them. So I've done that over here. And what I do is I also assign them a number. So 100, 200, 300, and 400. It doesn't matter how many steps there are in between here, but you'll see why we did it this way in a bit. So short answer is going to be our header, long answer is a header, images is a header, and player information is a header. The rest are all fields that are already in there. So first we need to go over and make these headers as custom profile fields. So add a new field, short answer, and here is where we set the display order. So we want to set this to this number here. Set that to 100. And it can be edited by the member. And go back to the custom profile field control. Add another new field. Now we're going to add long answer. And the display order is 200. Can be edited by the member. And go back to custom profile field control. Images is 300. Can be edited by the member. Position 300. And add field. And player information is at 400. And if you're wondering why my ACP looks a bit different to the standard, quite a bit different, it's actually a custom style sheet that I have created for the Jcink ACP. Which you can find the code for and how to install it on RPGD and through Tumblr as well. So the 5 fields that we've just created are here. Now what we need to do is we want to get these in the right order, which is again where this list comes in handy. So short answer, full name. The next one after short answer should be full name. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to edit that, and we're going to call that 101. So remember that short answer we set to 100. So to make this one immediately after that, we set it to 101. And you'll see that full name has sat underneath short answer there. So what's next? Species. And of course we're going to call that 102. Now I didn't realize how many people didn't know about the custom display order thing. I actually thought I was imagining it and had to be reminded that it existed because I don't have my drag and drop anymore. Age, we're going to call that 103. So you can see as we go through full name, species, age, they're just sort of sorting themselves as we go along. Occupation, .104. Homeland is 105. And then we're into long answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are 201, 202, 203, 204, 205, 206, and 207. We'll do that quickly. Just changing those numbers so that they sit in the order that we want them to go. 202. And I shouldn't have added so many of these, but you know how it is. Just get excited. In fact, there's quite a few of these because of how I was testing the custom profile display. This is a demo site. It's not one that's in use, so everything is completely theoretical and filled with garbage answers. 206. And 207. Okay, so that's all of our long answers in, all nicely in order. What's next? Avatar link 301. And what's next? Nope. Player name at 401, which I've just called player on here for some reason. Player age at 402. And player location at 403. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way down. And I could have done that and it would have set things in the right order, but you're going to run into problems with something like this. And you can see here that there's a field that I forgot to include, which is the character pronouns field, which I left off my list like a silly person. And character pronouns would go in here. But if I'd labelled these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 here, it'd be I would need to change the numbers of every single one of these down here in order to insert this one here. But because I've gone from 100 and labelled them down this way, I can just go 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, and 106 is a number that hasn't been taken yet, and it still sits behind 200. So give yourself those gaps and allow yourself room to add and move fields as needed. Even if I wanted to put this all the way in here, I would still only need to move 3 or 4 fields instead of editing the entire list to squeeze it in. And it's painful when you have to do that. So to 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106 is character pronouns. and you can see that that has just slotted itself in nicely. And face claim we'll call 107 for the same reason, it wasn't on the original list. So now you can see that all of these are beautifully in order, exactly as I want them. And if we go over here and refresh, you'll see they're all in the right order. And my headings do not look like headings yet, but we'll do that in the next tutorial. So that is a crash course on how I reorder my custom profile fields. It's a pretty quick tutorial today. But yeah, that's how I find it easiest to do things and to sort out a means of adding headings and making it easier for myself in the future as well. Yeah, I hope this was useful, and if you love my work, I do have a tip jar, and yeah. Thanks guys, and have a great whatever time of day it is.